È imprevedibile e le cose non sono mai scontate, quindi è anche la bellezza, no, di questo sport.
Io rappresentavo per questa squadra, era quello che non mollava mai, quello che doveva fare stare sempre su il morale, ma io mi ci trovavo bene perché sono sempre stato uno che mi piaceva dare fuoco ai miei compagni, caricarli prima delle partite.
Il mio sogno si è avverato, è uno dei sogni dei bambini, di tanti bambini.
È un qualcosa per la gente che riusciamo a fare diventare matti, riusciamo a fare diventare felici e contenti.
Con questa maglia devo veramente fare una performance diversa perché sto rappresentando uno dei club più grandi al mondo.
Hi everyone, Happy New Year, Happy 2026, Merry Christmas to those celebrating and Happy Holidays. Either way, that I hope everyone got some time off. So we're back with a bang, 2026, fireworks. Who do we have in the house? Lab Gorilla is in the house. How's it going, John?
How you doing, Husney? I hope my audio is okay. Is it all right? Everyone can hear me
Yeah.
okay? Yeah,
Sounds
great.
great.
Fantastic. So, yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. Buon anno nuovo, as we say in Italy. I hope everyone is going to have a prosperous and healthy 2026. And who knows? Who knows on the footballing side? Things are looking pretty decent for Milan fans out there. The team is doing all right, and we'll be talking about that somewhat. Yeah, we've got a lot to cover, though, haven't we, Husney? We haven't been on for quite a while, so we might as well get started, dude. Is everything all right with you?
Yeah, things are good. Looking forward to a new Milan both in and out, but let's just hope at this point. Nothing more than
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And let's start by saying, I guess the guys here are the guys from Australia, aren't they? Kachavit and Kim. Good
Yeah.
morning to you both. Buongiorno. I guess to them it's
Good
afternoon or
afternoon.
evening.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes,
Good afternoon to
yes.
guys down under
Guys
who
in the future.
celebrated their New Year early.
Yeah, it's always funny when you see the New Year's. They're like literally 11, 12 hours ahead. Amazing. All right, all right. Oh, great. You've lined up the slides. So I've got
Yeah.
you on my phone, so I'm slightly delayed, but I'm keeping an eye on the chat. Okay, great. So we've called this pod Money Goals, and you'll see why in a minute. But let's start actually where we should start, which is a review of some of the games. All right. So we're going to start with the Verona game that we won 3-0. Hasni, so I'll be honest, man, this game started very slowly. We didn't play particularly well, and I kind of fell asleep for parts of it. And so I know Nkunku scored 2 goals. I know he got a lot of positive vibes, and I would like to talk about what some of the people said about him in other pods, which is kind of funny. But Pulisic is the one that broke the deadlock, isn't he?
Yep, from the corner. Interesting, just to dial it back a bit. So that penalty was won by Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Mm.
So he was charging, and the ball went out. And then it was I don't know who took the corner. I think it has to be Modric. Modric to Rabiot. Rabiot, I think he went for the goal. I'm sure that if you were jumping for it, you do want to head it in. But it went a bit off, and Pulisic found himself at the right place, right time, kicked it and blasted it right into the top of the net.
Nice. That's yeah. Pulisic is once again he is a killer, stone cold killer. Best signing we've had. We'll be talking about signings in a minute. But yeah, Nkunku scored 2 goals. Again, Husni, can you give us a reminder of the 2 goals?
Yeah, so it was just after the break. This is the part that really gets me. In the first half, Nkunku was very much invisible. So it would have been one of those games that I'm sure everyone would have chalked off and said that Nkunku definitely not worth his money and would have slated him big time. But he won that penalty, and if you look at it from a different angle, you can see games where those sort of penalties weren't given. So it very much depends on the ref. But we got it. Okay, we'll take it. Nkunku scored the penalty, took it well. And yeah, the balloon celebration that you see here on the slide. Now the second goal was a tap-in. Modric kicked it, hit the from their side, the right post, the back of the keeper. Their defenders didn't react on it quickly enough, but Nkunku did. So as a striker, I think this is one of the roles. So you could put it down to the penalty as maybe if you ask my opinion, the lesser of the two goals. Because I did think that strikers should be a little bit more alert inside the box to pounce on opportunities. But other than that, I
Mm,
thought in the second half we pretty much took it away. There wasn't really anything that they could come back with. I thought if they had a chance, it might have been the first half, but the second half it was
right.
just purely Milan, even with the subs coming in.
Yeah. So in terms of stats, let's have a look at the stats. Milan had most of the shots on goal, most of the shots on target. Really kept Verona to almost nothing. Um, Big chances missed. Yeah, and it was a good game. It was a good finish. Now, am I correct in saying that this was Liverpool's first two goals in the league?
Sorry, John, it's not so clear what you just said.
Am I correct in saying that these were
Yeah,
his first two goals in the league?
in the league, yes, he scored one other goal, which was in the Copa. So that was many weeks back, if I can recall. Again with the balloon celebration. So
Yeah.
it's not like we haven't seen
So,
it before.
so okay. So it's interesting because it's taken half a season for him to score the first two goals. People's
Yeah.
in other chats have said that this hopefully means that finally he's hit the ground running. And I'm like, that's not how you use that term. Hitting the ground running means when you first start to play, you score, and he's not done that at all. So a bit of a
No, but
funny one to be saying that.
John, they're right. He hit the ground quite literally after this game. So we can talk about next game and how he wasn't there.
Well, exactly right. He's like so he did come with an injury record, and people did say that the guy's a bit brittle. And sure enough, he goes one game, scores two goals. Allegri was correct. He said Nkunku will be important in this game, but then he can't maintain that fitness,
Yeah.
which is a big problem, mate. Big problem.
It,
So all
it's a
right,
it's a
mm,
common theme, and we've spoken about this before, to say that your best ability, more often than not, is actually availability. Uh,
yeah, you've said
yeah.
yes. A good saying you have, Hasni. It's a very good saying. So it is a problem. So to me, first of all, I'm not going to turn around and say Nkunku now has hit the ground running. No, is halfway in the season. We've passed halfway in the season, and the guy is only scored two goals in the league. That's not good enough. First thing to say. Now, second thing to say is this is despite the fact that we've got an extremely short squad list. Now, if you look here on the left is the squad list for Milan, and incredibly on the right is the squad list. This is the subs bench for Verona. So you always know that Milan, you're gonna get an opportunity to play because, well, unless you're Italian, most of the time, because your squad is so short that you're gonna need these strikers. And as we know, in the striker department, we're incredibly short of players. So let's and Kunku's had his chances. He's come in. He's been injured a lot or unfit, and then when he does come in, um, for the first time, this is not a new like having a new signing. This is what some people are arguing about, and
You know what's
as you
interesting about
said,
this slide,
yeah,
John?
yeah,
If you look at two of the names on the substitute bench for Milan, I think it's
yeah,
worth more than the entire bench of Verona. Look at how much we paid for
yeah,
Jashari, who I can't recall the last time that he started, but okay. And how much did we pay for? Okay, his name's not here, but usually he'll be here. Ngungu. Those two names that are our regular subs. Sorry, even Ricci. How much did we pay for Ricci? Costs a
yeah,
lot more than the entire Verona bench.
yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. But it's things have changed at Milan
Yeah.
since a few years ago in terms of the amount being spent on individual players. It looks like they spent years trying to save up in order to be able to invest more, and now they're investing more, but not necessarily on the correct players. And this is what it's led to. It's just like trimming the squad, having a few high value players, but not in the right positions. And that's what's going on. So,
Okay.
okay, so let's go into the Cagliari game, Hasni. That was played When was it? Last night? I'm trying to
Yeah,
remember. Friday night. Friday
yeah, two
night,
nights
wasn't it?
ago. Yeah, 2 nights ago
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me. Yeah,
Friday night for me. Um, Leao win. We suffered a bit in the first few minutes. Cagliari were cutting us open on our left flank, which was being covered by Bartesaghi in place of Pavlovic and Estupinian, who kept being caught up the field and leaving massive gaps behind him. Now, however, I did see this one. I was awake for this one. Leao scored a solid goal. When he got the opportunity, he really put his foot through it, which
double
blasted through
deflection.
the
And you saw that,
goalkeeper.
right? There's the angle that they took the video, and it hit the
Is that
defender,
right?
then it hit the keeper, and then into the goal. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Or I don't think. I don't know. The keeper. I was like, why didn't the keeper get his body behind it? But it was a hard strike.
yeah,
But for the most part, you've got to say a lot of people were complaining about Leao, saying he's very inactive, he's not doing a lot. But that's just Leao. It's just what he does. And one of the comments came out afterwards in the Italian press is, "Listen, this is how Leao is. You take it or leave it, but that is what you're going to get. You're going to get a player who looks inactive for a lot of the game, and then when the opportunity comes, he will be the one that will put his foot through it, and score the goals because he's got the ability to do so." What did you think of the game, Husney? Because I think it was a very, very comfortable 1-0 in my opinion.
yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the what you mentioned about the comparisons, and you're right. Yeah, Liao has been consistently Liao as he is. So whatever people have said about him, pretty much what others have said about him over the many years. Now, I get the reason why this happens is that, as football fans, most football fans, they don't just watch one game, they watch several games. They might watch this match, and they might watch the Premier League. So if you're watching Haaland or Mbappe, a few hours before this game, then maybe you will wonder, like, why isn't Leao just like them, or why isn't the game playing out just like how you're watching a Real Madrid or a Man City at their peak? But this is it. This is as good as it gets for some of the players, but it's enough for us. But coming back to the game, yeah, the first half, there were some scary moments, but what I do want to credit is that we managed to recover the ball quite well. So
Hmm.
it didn't come to a point that Mike was just being peppered. The players,
He
although
never was.
mistakes.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
He never was being peppered. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there were points during the game where the defense, we lost possession and all that. And yeah, you're right. They came at us strong, but there was a way that we managed to recover it. So I'm going to credit Allegri for that, because I don't see that happening under the previous coaches, Fonseca or Conceição, especially Pioli. That wouldn't happen. It would have been like, okay, let's just hope that Mike saves this one. So that's better defensively. In the second half, yeah, other than the Liao goal, I think there was another chance. I think, was it Pulisic, or I remember there was another chance that I thought was quite
I
good.
don't remember that. Was
Yeah,
there another? Pulisic did have a very good shot on goal, actually. Yeah,
yeah.
he did. Yeah, yeah.
Um, but then we saw Fulkrug. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. So that was his debut game.
No, you
Nothing much.
pronounce it. You pronounce it Fuckrug.
Fukrug, is it? Fukrug,
I'm joking.
is it?
That's not right. It is Fulkrug. Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't see anything spectacular. I thought if you wanted to compare players, when Jimenez, his first game looked a lot better than what the Fulkrug's first game was. I hope that does change, but yeah, you have something to share about Fulkrug and how he is as a player in a bit, and that will really, maybe for those who don't know the player, leave our audiences a little bit stunned.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, yeah. Let's just have a look at this game. Listen, man. We had most possession. We had most shots on target. Very, very comfortable game. Cagliari were made to look extremely weak. I think it went. We just needed that one goal, and they were never going to come back into it. And I think there's a few interesting things that happened during this game, actually, and we need to talk about. So first things, Husney, we had no Pavlovic this match. Remember?
Yeah.
And let's see here. Let's see if I got the slide ready. So, okay, first things first. Milan are top of the league. As we stand today, Inter Milan have got to play Bologna. So we've had, and Napoli have to play as well, but Napoli can't jump over Milan. Inter can. Juventus drew with Lecce, which was a hilarious result yesterday. Roma lost to Atalanta away from home. Atalanta are really finding their form again, which is great. I mean, to me, it's good to watch Atalanta play that well. But Bologna enters the big game of the weekend, I guess. It should be quite interesting to watch, and that's tonight in UK time.
Yeah,
Now we
John,
want,
I,
yeah,
I
go,
do want to ask you about that slide, and I wanted to ask your opinion.
yeah,
Based
go on.
on the gap that we see now, and of course, it's not level in terms of how many matches have been played between all the teams. But I want to ask you because I feel this way. Do you think this is the juncture that for us top four is pretty much secured? Because it does feel like it to me.
100%,
Yeah,
100%. I think
the gap is
objective one
building.
is
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone comes up, and I know there are going to be people out there. See, there's going to be people out there who's going to try and make this sound like it's a difficult task, and they're going to be like, oh, if anything, something goes wrong, then we'll quickly drop out. No, as I said before, and I'll say it again, I've been consistent throughout this. It will be Allegri's biggest failure if he doesn't make top four with this squad, because he's only got one game, and I mean we're out of even the Italian Cup, so we went out of that as quickly as we possibly could, pretty much, and now he's literally got Modric, and this is why, and in his, I think his eyes, Jashari just doesn't see any game time because Modric is playing 90 minutes because it's only one game a week, isn't he? And Modric is his
Mm.
priority. Doesn't matter that we spent 35, 40 million on Jashari.
And
It's a
Modric is
weird
still doing a
situation.
job, so that's also very important. If Modric can play but isn't really doing well, then maybe that's an opening
That's
for
when Jashari
Jashari.
will
But
come in. Yeah,
Modric is
yeah,
Modric, yeah. This is the thing.
yeah. No, 100%. Modric is Modric. I like that. Just a couple of things on the comments. Shane, yeah, get well soon, Shane. He's been unwell,
Yeah,
poor
it was.
guy. And he says it has to be fuck rug from now on. So yeah, let's do that, fuck rug. um, and I think Kashavit agrees with that, so we'll stick with that. How about it? Now, yeah. So Milan are top, and a couple of comments that came out from Allegri after the game, right? So he said early on, Cagliari caused us some problems. Yes, I agree, but they didn't really, as you said, it didn't really have a go at the Milan goal. Tonight we didn't start well. We improved in the second half. Again, I agree with that. He said perfection doesn't exist because people were saying, is this exactly this is 1-0 is the Allegri perfect result, people said to him.
Yeah, is that Allegri scoreline?
It is an Allegri, yeah. And so the other one was Fakrag wanted Milan and showed desire. Now, I wanted to ask your opinion on his performance because I'll give you my opinion first, okay? So I think he was very static. He showed himself to be extremely slow, and I had seen this before that he was a very slow player. So build up around him is going to have to slow down to enable him to catch up to the game. I actually think in a foot race he will be slower than Modric potentially. Where he's going to be, so he's like 1 meter 89, 1 meter 90 tall. So I think he's going to be useful as a target man in set pieces and corners and things like that. But I actually don't think that this is the type of player that Milan require. Santi Jimenez actually has a hell of a lot more pace than this guy. So it's going to be interesting seeing him go forward. And we're going to give you a little bit of stats on Fulkrug. So that's the first thing. I wanted to your opinion on Fulkrug. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, nothing outstanding during the game. You're right. Target man, yes, but even for target man, we have a bit of high bar or ceiling for it. Everyone, if you talk about target man and what you would expect, you are looking at a Giroud sort of profile, right? That if he's in the box, find him, or if he's near the box, find him, and something will happen. Fulkrug, I'm not seeing it, and I don't think so. But the truth of the matter is that this is a player that is just warming the seat for Jimenez to come back. And in the case of Jimenez, he has his surgery. Then after surgery, it's going to be a bit of a low form. Then he's going to have to work his way up. So this is pretty much a stopgap player. I don't think we can put a high expectation on Fulkrug. If you talk about what is the readily best 11 that we can probably field over the next few weeks, probably still has to be Liao and Pulisic. I just think Fulkrug is, if you need to give someone a rest, he would be a player that would be it. But other than that, I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't think so either. I think Milan are still short of a player. I think they still need one more striker at least if they really want to compete for the Serie A title itself. Um,
But
uh,
John, do we really need
yeah.
that one player? If you think about it, you said it. One game a week. Pulisic scored, even though he's not starting the for whatever reason. You give him rest or whatever. He can probably play if he's fit. He can play every single game until the end of the season. Liao is back. I don't think there'll be any relapse to his injury because he just got back from one. So that's pretty much our two up front, right?
I know, mate. So it's interesting. So great point you make here, actually, Hasni. Allegri said something about Leao, and I want people to listen because this is something that our coach has said. He said that Leao is better up front than he is on the wing because Allegri thinks that when Leao is on the wing, and these are his words, he falls asleep. He gets bored, and he just goes down the wing, and then someone is in the middle, and he will just have games where he just lapses in and out. And he says, being up top, Leao has a lot more interaction with the ball and he has a lot more opportunities to have an impact on the game. So, what did you think about that comment? Because it was very important to mention this because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, I want to see Leao back on the wing. He's way better," and all this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, strikers, like as you said earlier, Ireland, he might disappear for 85 minutes of the game and then suddenly, bang, 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 he scores a goal, or two even. So strikers don't necessarily have to be active all the time. As long as they're there when the important moment happens, you still win the game. So what's your opinion on what Allegri said?
Yeah, I fully agree. The thing is that we have changed our formation. So we're not in the 4-2-3-1. So 4-2-3-1 was Liao's left winger default position. So that position no longer exists because if you try to put him on the left of a 3-5-2, you're going to have to expect him to defend at some point. And everyone, let's be real. Liao defending is not defending.
Yeah, no,
He's just a
exactly.
guy. He's just a guy following around another guy, and as Allegri said, he's going to face in and out a bit. So I would keep him up top because the one thing Leo definitely has that very very few players inside the league have is pace. So you don't need that pace really for defending, right? Because unless the attacker is on the break, and even that, I wouldn't expect Leao to overtake him and like what, take the ball off of a charging defender. Sorry, a striker. Not gonna happen. So yeah, that's the only position that's available to Liao. Now there's that, and I like the fact that if it's 3-5-2, the other person who he's paired with is Pulisic. So he has that competition. Before, when we
Hmm.
went to 4-2-3-1, Liao left wing, zero competition. We tried to bring in players. We tried to say that, okay, this person is an alternate to Liao. Never ever worked. I can't think of anyone that you could really replace Liao with. In fact, Liao was the person who replaced Rebic all those years ago, right? When Rebic was on left wing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I completely agree with Allegri, but whether his game or his style is different, I don't think so. I think he can probably do the same. Liao finds space. He has the ball. I really would trust him.
Yeah. So, I mean, he had a lot of moments in the first half when he was getting the ball and he just seemed disinterested. It was just either bouncing it off a defender, hitting it
Mm.
into nothingness, passing it into nothingness. He looked really awful. But that's, I think, when the moment came and he had to put his foot through the ball, he did exactly what he needed to be. He needed to be in the position where he needed to be, and he did. He finished it. And we've all said it before, he's got all the physical attributes to be a great striker, but he just doesn't seem to get, he's not consistently impressive to the eye. But if he does the job and we win 1-0 and it's his goals doing it, so who cares at the end of the day? Kim makes a great point, which is we should have kept Camarda. Camarda's another point.